This is Annie Kid Wolf, and you're watching This is Punk Rock of Punk Globe magazine.
1, 2, 3, 4. Punk rock, punk rock, punk rock. 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 It ain't brain surgery. Punk rock, punk rock, punk rock. 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 It ain't brain surgery. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, well, here we are with Donita Sparks. Thank you so much for being here to this fantastic whatever this is that Ginger made me do. It's
Ginger
called,
is Ginger is a very persuasive gal, and it's tough to say no to her.
yes,
So, and I've loved Ginger for years, so I'm happy to be here and looking forward to this.
she is my queen. I love her
Yeah,
very much.
she's
So
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, and Punk Globe, of course, a staple in our punk rock world for so many years, which is, been really incredible for me over the years being able to have, a magazine like that and, just having her. So I'm happy to do this and very happy to have you here. Thank you so
Oh,
much. This is wonderful. And
cool.
I want to talk to you about punk. So you are definitely a trailblazer in the punk circuit for women. You did a lot of things that paved the way for a lot of incredible bands, and thank you for that also. As a Vancouver musician and coming up in the early 90s, you were definitely an inspiration. So I know for a lot of women. So
Cool. Do you know Billy Hopeless?
Yes, I do know
I
Billy.
love Billy Hopeless. Black
Yeah,
Halos, man. They
yeah.
fucking rule.
Yes,
And,
they
and in
def
fact, if you want to talk about punk,
okay, here we go. Yes.
you should speak with Billy Hopeless because I call him my rock and roll Jesus because he's fucking brilliant and he really is he's a lifer and he believes strongly in the whole punk thing and the whole music thing and he's just my rock and roll Jesus. You should
Yes.
interview him.
He's
He's
he's on my list. I'm gonna talk to him in the next little while. So yeah, he's
awesome.
for sure. Yeah, he's awesome.
Great.
So yeah, one of the things I want to talk to you about is punk as a movement. I think that punk as a music, people sometimes, they of course they get the two together as like punk is a heavy, in your face kind of, rock, but turned nasty. And I want to ask you about it as a movement. I know Rock for Choice and so many different things, benefits that you still do to this day because the fire is in LA. And I want to ask you about that, punk for you as a movement, and how did that come hand in hand with the music for you?
Well, I go pretty far back with punk as a little sister of, I would say, a couple of the gals who were into punk from the get-go, from the New York Dolls to the Ramones to Patti Smith so I was the little sister listening to this stuff. Thank God, Lou Reed and, and Bowie and all that stuff. So I really lucked out with that. I always viewed punk. I agree with you. It's a movement. I always thought it was like an overall music art movement. Some people talk about grunge as a movement. Grunge wasn't a movement. Grunge was a moment in time. It affected a lot of people. A lot of people really attached to the music that was called grunge. But punk is a state of mind. I don't think grunge is a state of mind. Punk is punk is and was a movement. I think more of a movement about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago at this point. And it's a lifestyle as well, I suppose. And it's just kind of uh, some punk is politically involved and some punk is completely apathetic. And some punk is very serious and some punk is very uh, light and flighty and funny. So it's a lot of things, but it was certainly a revolution when it came around, and it was an overthrow. It
Mhm.
was an overthrow of some boring guitar solos.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. The
Being
overthrow of the solos is what it was.
being a woman in music just in general, and then being in the punk movement or the heavy music, how was that for you breaking through? I know that you started what you were saying, like art, you were part of an art scene and you started from there. So how was that moving into the music and pushing that as a woman? Did you find
Well,
it difficult?
uh, you know, Susie and Susie and I started the band in '85. We were part of the art punk scene in Los Angeles. We had both worked at the LA Weekly. We were involved with a lot of artists there. I did performance art. Susie did poetry, and then we started a band together. But we were an art punk band, even though Susie was a bit more involved in some of the hardcore punk scene. She was involved with Black Flag a bit, and then Jennifer came in the band, and she was very into LA, like kind of hardcore punk. I was never a big hardcore punk uh, devotee. I liked kind of the first wave of punk, the
Mhm.
second wave of punk, and new wave, and then But anyway, but I like some of the songs of some of the later bands. But yeah, when it got a little too rough and it became a pit, it didn't float my boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like dancing as opposed to being in a violent pit. So that was never my thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I want to ask you a little bit about benefits. Like, you just did this LA benefit for the fires in LA, and do you have anything else going on for benefits? And what do benefits mean to you right now, as far as what you're doing in your music? It's very political. So how do you what is that? How does that tie in for you with the benefits?
Well, I don't do a whole lot of benefits. L7 founded Rock for Choice in like 1991, and we
Yep.
did a series of benefits for pro-choice organizations, partnering up with the Feminist Majority Foundation. So, and that was we did that for years, and then it became too much of a talking point for our liking with the press, and so we stepped back from it. But other people took it over and did their own shows, and you can still do a Rock for Choice show. Just contact the Feminist Majority Foundation in Los Angeles, and they'll hook you up with some of the logos and the art that you need to do it. But uh, you know, as far as listen, people ask me to do shout outs for causes or candidates. I did one for Kamala Harris. I did one for, the LA wildfires. And I just did a performance with Lucha Baboom for the wildfires. And I did that, Rita called me up, asked me if I would be a part of it. And I said, yes, I've been friends with Rita for a long time. She does Lucha Baboom. And that was really just, it was also kind of a thing to do a different kind of performance than L7. It was it was a production, dance production, kind of. I don't know if you've seen it,
Yeah,
but
I saw a little bit of it. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we just posted the whole video of it. So you can actually see the whole performance. But it was just a way for me to get my yayas out. Well, for a good cause, I suppose, performing with that troupe of Lucha Vavoom performers.
And I want to ask you about how important do you feel that punk and art is right now with the political landscape that's going on going on all through the States. How important do you feel that punk and art just in general are right now?
I don't know how important they are. I'm not seeing a lot of resistance going on right now, to tell you the truth. I'm a little shocked. So I think everybody's very afraid right now, and I know I've been afraid to really speak out and sock it to them. But I think we need to, if we're united, we can't be divided. So I think hopefully we're going to get you know, a little more of a line of defense together. But I don't see a whole lot going on. But then again, I don't really follow the scene that much. You would know more than I about, people writing anger resistance songs, like L7, we have a lot of anger anthems that still hold up. They're not all about politics, but I think, shit list you can still very much applies to our times right now. So
Do you
I don't
think
know. I
or
hope people are writing stuff.
yeah, do you think it's important for you to say hey, get out there and just fight for, for and make it try to make a difference? Do you think that that is important for people to start? Because I know that with art is when times are really hard, a lot of people they gravitate to art, right? Because they get into their art, they want to escape, so they're watching films and they're watching, going to bands, they're doing all that kind of listening to music. Do you feel that right now art is super important because of what's happening?
Well, I think art is always important, and there are always assholes you know so come on. I mean, art is always important. And listen, we've been voting for the lesser of two evils for decades and decades and decades. Like, I've liked some of the candidates a bit, but then they'll do something that really fucking disappoints me because they're politicians after all, and they're sociopaths for the most part. So but now we've really got a fascist in there. So, things have intensified greatly. Is it important for me to say to people to get involved? No. I think it's important for people to speak out and to create art of resistance, but it's also important to make art of any kind, in my opinion. If that's not your bag, if that's not your wheelhouse to write political music or anything, then play a benefit. Just write goofy songs, but do a benefit. And that's how you can contribute, or write a really political song and so there are ways to do it, even if you're not really that politically eloquent,
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. And also, do you have any punk rock heroes? When you said Billy Hopeless was your punk rock Jesus, but do you have like, there you go, there's one, but do you have
There's
any,
one.
yeah, do you have any like people who influenced you in the punk rock world?
uh I would say well, hero is an interesting word. I have idols.
Okay.
But heroes can let you down. Like, I fucking love the Ramones, love the Ramones. I had some political differences with the Ramones, but they're probably my favorite band. Um, so they're just they are the pinnacle of punk, in my opinion. They've got it all. So, yeah, I like John Lydon a lot. I think he's really piss and vinegar, and he can be such a fucking jerk. But I've read some excellent interviews with John Lydon, so I've always loved him, and I've always loved the Ramones. And I love Debbie Harry because she's always doing really cool, interesting, eclectic things. Like she'll do like a Torch record, and then she'll do a punk record, and she'll do a Blondie record. So I like, and she just keeps fucking going, and I love that. She's she is a superstar. So yeah, I mean, and then just
Yeah.
friends of mine are my punk heroes,
Yeah.
icons, idols, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's kind of I think that's perfect because I think idols and heroes, you're right. Like I guess that's kind of what I meant. It's sort of more like influences too, right? Do you have like the punk influences when you started out playing, guitar and singing and putting your band together? Like was there bands, the Ramones, there's a good one. I think some of that even comes into the L7, sound is that, in your face, punk rock, hard rock, it's there, and you guys were really, really powerful and still are to this day. So I mean, thank
Well,
you.
and you got to remember the Ramones are very pop too. They're not like that in your face. They're just like amazing. They're not the Ramones were never a confrontational band. Like the
No.
Sex Pistols, John Lydon, very confrontational. The Ramones just wanted to do fucking really great rock fast and cut all the fucking fat off of it. And they did. And they made really great pop classics, in my opinion. So I've always loved Mick Jagger. I'm sorry, my friend is. God damn it! Can you hear that dinging?
No, but the dog's about to bark too.
Oh,
It's okay. This
yeah.
is a punk interview.
I'm hearing dinging. Someone's texting me. But yeah, I've always loved Mick Jagger. I've always loved the Rolling Stones. I love the Beatles. I love David Bowie so much. I love Nancy Sinatra. I love um,
Yeah,
the B-52s, one of my favorite bands of all time.
yeah, definitely. I love
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't like a whole lot of like in your face shit.
Yeah.
I like to dance,
Well, I think that that's one thing that I was saying about you guys is when you started out, your music was pretty in your face, right? And in your face in that real like young kind of like snotty kind of way, right? And powerful. And I can see what I was saying about the Ramones and what you guys is I could see the thread of that, pop rock kind of, style of what the Ramones did and in your influences. And I that's great that talk about them as an influence for
Well,
sure.
and listen, Hawkwind was an influence. We like the space rock. We like the Motorhead. We like the Stooges. Like we like that heavy shit, but
Yeah.
we like groovy shit too. And we've got that in our catalog as well. It's like we've got some groovy shit, we've got some weird shit, quirky stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff came maybe a little bit later, but I think we always had a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, a growl with a little bit of a smile on our face too, like even our anger anthems have humor in them. It's not just straight, it's
Yeah.
not.
I was going to say that about humor and punk rock and madness almost sort of go together in a certain way.
Yeah,
It's that you have to laugh or you're going to cry kind of scenario.
definitely,
I,
definitely. Or you have to rock or you're gonna cry, you know. So it's a I think it's been a release for a lot of people, and punk rockers, initially were just a bunch of outcasts, and to hear other outcasts coming out of the stereo speakers was very powerful for me, for a lot of people, and it continues to be like, a fucking lifeline, life preserver for people. I mean, a lot of music in general is that, but when it's really got something to say, then it's,
yeah.
very it can be life-saving to some people, as a matter of fact. So
Something that resonates with you for sure.
yeah.
And I know you're super busy. You got all kinds of things going on, and I'm really glad that you could spend some time with us. And thank you so much for this. And have an awesome day and wonderful weekend. And
Thank you. Oh, one more thing. Ginger Coyote is a punk rock idol of mine. So I hope you're interviewing Ginger for this too. And tell her I'm extremely disappointed that she did not join us today.
she's
I'm
gonna
only,
kill me.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. Ginger and I see each other all the time. We're on the Insta, we're on the Facebook. We're good. We're good.
She's one of my her and Jane County are two of my hugest
There
idols.
you go.
Or
There you go.
as idols, whatever. We're all together.
Another shiro, another shiro,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And thank you so much again. And we'll pass on your hellos to our queen.
Okay.
All right.
Hail, hail. Okay. Thank
Hey.
you so much.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Hon. Yeah.
Thank you.
Guests are a very popular band, and their new album is called Bricks Are Heavy. I have a copy of it right here. This is the newest one, I believe. Tonight, making their network television debut, please welcome L7. Kids.
pain.